I'm Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. Man, it's pod season. Huh? How exciting is that? I'm excited. So Joe Emery sent me some peppers. Thank you, Joe, so much. The one I had earlier was just a monster. If you didn't see it, go back and watch that video. It's the biggest chocolate boula I've ever seen in my life. 25 grams. It was amazing. Anyway, he sent me 2 pods that are kind of fascinating. It's a pod created by Jeff Remmert. Okay, there are 2 pods. One is called the Remmert pod, and one is called Deadpool. Now, here's the cool thing. They're both these pods. One's red. You can see in the thumbnail. One's red. One's chocolate. But they both came from the same genetics. So he named one Remmert, and the other he named Deadpool. The Deadpool is the red one, and the Remmert pod is the chocolate pod. Here's how it was created. It's a Carolina Reaper that's been crossed with a 7-pot long red into a chocolate boula. Okay, so that's how it was done. Now, what I have here are pods from isolated F8 seeds, meaning they are stable. This is it. This is the last season, and these things are stable. Whew. That's just a big deal. You know what I mean? It's a big deal. Anyway, I'm going to show you what I got. This was a suggestion from Jeff. I have this pod, which I have already cut open. I have this pod, which I have already cut open. I'm going to put them 2 together. I'm going to eat them that way. And I did. It's kind of weird. The way this pod was shaped, it wasn't easy to do. So I cut it this way and removed this. So this is very little. Look at the entire placenta is in this portion. All right. You can see how I cut it. And the reason I had to cut it that way was because of the shape of the pod. It was a very difficult pod to, you know what I mean? All right. So then I took this pod, which is the Deadpool, and I tried to cut it in such a way that it'll fold into that. So here's what we've got. Now, they're different sized peppers, so I'm at a bit of a disadvantage here. But here's what I've got. So here, we've got a Remmert Deadpool combo, okay? Together, I don't know, the weight of it is ridiculous because I have both placentas. If you look at this, the entire placenta on both pods. So, in fact, when I eat the other halves, look at this. This is what the other it'll be the easiest. I mean, so it's kind of funny how I did this. And really, look, they fit together pretty well too. The reason I did this way again is because of the shape of the pods. So this is going to be a should we call this? I'm looking for names. I can't look for names because by the time I put this up, I already come up with a name. There should be a name for this whole idea of taking 2 pods, splitting them, putting them. I've never done that before, ever. Never crossed my mind. I put different pods in my mouth before, but never like this. So here we got the Deadpool Remmert pod. Johnny Scoville, and this is Chase the Heat. The cool thing is, red pod, chocolate pod, kind of go cool together. You have the fruitiness of the red with the earthiness of the chocolate with a little smokiness in there, kind of playing back and forth. The first bite was very pleasant, tasted great. Now is going to be the really tough one because it's the placenta of both pods. Let me do this to make it easier. Here we go. Just a lot of pepper. Wow, that was a mouthful of pepper, huh? Wow. Now, while I was chewing it, I'm trying to think, like, is this different than just, if I close my eyes and I didn't know what I was eating, would I say, hey, those are two different peppers? Is that a chocolate and a red? I couldn't do that. But the two together it just tasted like a great pepper. The fruitiness of the Deadpool and the earthiness of the Remmert pod blended together, so they really were indistinguishable. It just became a new flavor, if that makes any sense. Anyway, super hot and just a lot of pepper, you know. Good burn in the throat. It's still climbing. I'm going to eat the other half, which will be a joke because there's no placenta in either one of them. But you know what they are? They're very oily. Look how oily this is. This is super oily. And then this half is also pretty oily. There's a teeny little bit of placenta on this half. But as you see, there's nothing on this half, but it's a little bit of pepper wall. So here we go. This may be easier to get an idea of the taste, we'll see. It should be called the Willy Wonka pepper. Because when you first chew on that one, maybe it's because it was a smaller amount, it was easier to process, I'm not sure. Maybe no seeds, so it was easier to process, I don't know. But what happened was, I put it in my mouth, the first thing I did was, maybe it's which side I bit it on, the first thing I got was earthiness. And then I chewed it up and I got fruitiness. Fruity from the Deadpool. And then those flavors kind of dissipated and became one and became something different, which was really good. But at the beginning, I could taste both. So that happened in the last part. Maybe due to the size of it, I'm not sure. But that was interesting. The heat on it, it's hot. It's a hot pepper. You know, if you're not a chili head and you were to somehow manage to swallow both of those, pretty unforgettable. 9 Rings. Sauron. Is that what they Sauron? That's what it's from. 9 Rings. Lord of the Rings. You know what's great? Went to New Zealand. Second year or third year of the channel. I went to New Zealand for a pepper contest. Had a great time. Spent a bunch of time with it. It was wonderful. But, boy, the Lord of the Rings. You know, it's a big deal there. It's a huge industry there now. Anyway. Joe Emery grew these, and the link's in the description box. 9 Rings hot pepper products. Pretty cool. All right. You know what's funny? On the way coming back from New Zealand, I get on the plane. It was actually, both legs were really weird. On the flight there, it was crazy. I'm sitting on it's a huge plane. So there's like 3 rows on the far left side, 5 seats, or 3 seats on the left row, 5 seats in the middle, and 3 seats on the right. Huge plane. And I'm on the far left in the aisle, and I'm looking over, and this whole 5 right beside me is empty. And this is like a 12-hour flight, so I'm like, more than that. It was longer than that, because I had to fly to Australia, then there was a long, long flight. So I'm eyeing that. I'm gonna lay down in there. I'm gonna lay on that and sleep, because I don't sleep well on planes at all. So right as the plane takes off, right to get to altitude, you cannot move around the cabin. The guy moves over and sits down. I was like, ah. There was a person next to me here, so I still moved over because I didn't have anybody next to me. I still had the aisle because I need the aisle because I get up a lot. So we fly the whole way. This is to New Zealand. We land in New Zealand, and as we're getting the luggage, the stuff from the carry-on, the guy looks at me and goes, "Have a great time in New Zealand, Johnny." I'm like, "Hey, how come you didn't say hi?" He goes, "They didn't want to bug you." I'm like, "We're on the flight for a day. Should have said hello. We would have talked." But that was the weird part. Then coming back wasn't really weird, but coming back, I get on the plane, and the movie selection were all 3 of the Lord of the Rings coming back from New Zealand. So I watched all of them on the way back, which was really cool. Great peppers, Joe. Appreciate you sending me, my man. Delicious. If you want some peppers from Joe, the link's in the description box. The next one up, and I'm really excited about this one, is this. The spikes on this. This pepper is crazy. Because of the shadow, you can't see. There's a spike right there. You wouldn't believe. I mean, it's just a really intense pepper. I can't wait to see what the inside of this is. This is a gasoline. Thank you, Joe. All right, so we're going to wrap it up one more time. Happy birthday, Debbie. Charlie Mullen's mom. It's her birthday today. Moms are so important. So I hope you have a great birthday, Debbie. All right, we're wrapping it up. I hope you guys have a great day. In the description box, Joe Emery. Reach out to him if you want some pods, and there's dandies. Right there is the pepper. Click the pepper. We're doing this together. If you don't want to miss a video, don't. Just don't. Click the bell for notification. But visit us a lot so you don't miss anything. Right there is the Lifeboat, my brother Tommy's channel about beating an addiction, which I have done. I abused or was addicted to everything. And I am sober and happy and better, and I have a very fulfilled life. So if you want to, don't be shackled. Don't be. It starts there. More videos here. I'm Johnny Scoville. I love you guys. This was Chase the